Day of the Dead. Now, it's just the way of the world, all right? And it's been 2 years or so, and now the survivors are living underground.
Oh, yeah. Saw it first day, first show. Not first show. First day, first midnight show. Yeah, it was me and all the guys from Video Archives went and saw it. We liked it. We were a little disappointed because, it didn't top Dawn of the Dead, So it's no Dollars trilogy where, okay, for a few dollars more tops Fistful of Dollars, and The Good and the Bad and the Ugly tops that one. It doesn't do that. In fact, it doesn't even try to. It goes underneath. It's more almost like a play, frankly. But it's a pretty good play. For years, I always thought, oh, poor Romero, because he had this big vision of the film and he wasn't able to do it, so this had to be what he could put together because he couldn't do his big vision. But then when I realized later that his big vision was all that Cabrini Green stuff, from Land of the Dead, I hated all that crap. So I actually think Dawn of the Dead was actually Day of the Dead. Well, Day of the Dead, really it was slightly disappointing to us Romero fanatics at the time. All right, even though it did have one really cool thing about, you still had the practicality of how you would deal in a world with zombies like this. When they have to do their testing on zombies, the way they did it like a rodeo or like a cattle dip.
Yep.
All right, where they brought them through the different chutes, all with the collar, the Planet of the Apes kind of stick collars on sticks. It made sense. There was just that weird practicality of, okay, well, this is just the way the world is.
What it would do.
So this is how we have to do it. The small scaleness of it and the fact that while some of the actors are really good in it, this is what's supposed to blow off my socks. All right, But then you had a lot of ham bones in there that were, just not up to the same level that there was in Night of the Living Dead and Dawn of the Dead.
I'm starved for entertainment, baby, and that means you. Radio! Whale, baby, now!
You have to understand something. There's one movie in particular, though, that Planet Terror is kind of jumping off from, is this Umberto Lenzi zombie movie called City of the Walking Dead, also known as Nightmare City. But now here's the thing. There's zombie movies, but then there's a subgenre of zombie movies where they're not officially zombies. They are not the Walking Dead having been reanimated. They're infected people movies, where it's disease that turns you into a zombie and you're not dead and you've risen from the dead. So, if you get real, even though it fits inside of the zombie genre, Planet Terror is officially an affected people movie. Now, where we came up with that term was the film City of the Walking Dead by Umberto Lenzi.
No, I remember it from its Continental Home Video days under the title City of the Walking Dead. I remember actually when they just come running off the boat. No, it's a great opening. I ended up showing it to the bunch of the guys at Video Archives, and they were like, "Wow, we've never seen an opening like this." And I remember one of the guys said, "Boy, running away from a zombie that can run faster than you, that's fucked up." I remember when Bob Murawski was going to do something with Umberto Lenzi.
Friends of mine were interviewing him for his movie Cannibal Ferox on Laserdisc when it was coming out way back when. And as they were getting ready to go over to Rome to talk to him,
I go to Bob and go, "Hey, so tell Umberto how much I love his zombie movie, City of the Walking Dead."
City of the Walking Dead. I love that movie. It was really great. By the way, one of the things about that movie, that was the first movie where the zombies actually ran. Way before the remake of Dawn of the Dead. And 28 days later, the zombies were running. And I remember watching it with my friends and thinking, it ain't much fun to, be chased by a zombie and run faster than you can. All right? That's a whole other proposition. So anyway,
Bob Murawski gets to Italy. He tells Umberto Lenzi, "Oh, well, Quentin Tarantino is a big fan of yours, and he wanted me to let you know how much he enjoyed your zombie movie, City of the Walking Dead." "Zombie? What do you mean zombie? They're not zombies. It's infected people. They're not zombies. This is zombie." He doesn't even understand my movie.
Zombie. What is zombie? They were infected people. He didn't even understand my film.
That became a big thing, all right? Whenever talking about the genres, there are zombie movies, and then there's infected people movies.
They're not the zombies, they're infected people.
Also, the opening 20 minutes shows probably the most, to this day, most realistic version of a society under complete collapse. That television says, somebody get that fucking asshole off the air.
Yeah.
They are dead, they will rise, and they will kill, and the people they kill will kill. I mean, that is the greatest exposition actor of all time. Because he's also in The Crazies, and he gives the greatest exposition in that, too. He was definitely one of Romero's real finds, that guy. So you just buy the complete breakdown of the society and what do we do and where do we go and what's going on, and not in this big giant scale World War Z kind of way, which I actually kind of like that movie. But in this real low budget margins of just like the media that's being projected on TV that you're seeing, and since it's all done in this public accessy kind of way, Romero kind of really nails it. People just transcendentally doing their job before their jobs become irrelevant and now they must survive. You see Romero and all those people at the control panel. Well, yes, exactly. But what were they doing the next day? Were they hiding from the hills? Or was the place just overrun by zombies? What happened to them? To me, the head explosion didn't really do it for me, because I actually think the coffee head explosion is even a little bit better, frankly, because you see the head in relation to her sawed-off shotgun and Pam Grier. The scene that makes you wonder, oh wow, can I even handle this, is when the zombie in the project, when his wife, who's still alive, comes to her and embraces him, my baby, and then he just bites just a chunk out of her shoulder, and it just looks real. You buy it. It looks, if humans had shark-like mouths, that's probably the effect of what would happen if a sharky human bit you. And it just an effect we had never seen before, and it draws a line in the sand. Oh, am I ready for the rest of this? But then you also had the weird thing of they've kind of controlled their world. They controlled it, and they've taken care of the zombies. They're outside. There's not a way in. They've kept them out. They're in. Then the biker gang shows up. And they're worse than the damn zombies. Okay, this is human outlaw trash that has waited for society to take a flying fuck, all right, so it can just run rampant, and now they are, and they're running rampant. They're not even afraid of the zombies. They make fun of the zombies. You ever had that moment where you're almost feeling sorry for the zombies because of the way the motorcycle gang is treating them? Yeah.
But what you're talking about is just, I think, du jour for the majority of most horror sequels, because it's not the situation where most horror films have heavy characters or heavy landscape that deserves a trilogy, not just a part 2 and a part 3. But no, there's much more to be mined here. We can go much further with this. I mean, now Dawn of the Dead is one that does that. It creates a wonderful mythology, and it can go further with it. And the further you go, the more it brings up even more questions, and the more you want to know. Okay, well, what did they do 10 years after that? Well, what happens 10 more years after that? Okay, is there anybody in a safe situation? It's one of the few horror films that offers up that kind of thing. Well, here's the thing: is back in the days before IMDb, actors would routinely lie on their resume. And it was just kind of known, especially before you've done anything. You can't write SAG if you weren't in SAG. But other than that, you had a little bit of latitude to create shit. And so I came up with a couple of B-movie titles that didn't exist. I remember one was Drag Race No Stop. All right. And I played a character named Mag Wheeler. But I knew I had to put 2 known movies, and they couldn't have been SAG movies. So the 2 movies I chose were Dawn of the Dead and Jean-Luc Godard's King Lear. Well, it was like everyone was in it and no one will ever fucking watch it. So the thing is, I put in Dawn of the Dead because back when they made Dawn of the Dead, there's a young guy in the movie. There's one of the motorcycle guys. He's got shaggy hair like I had at the time, and he's got a Tommy gun, and he's in the sidecar of the sidecar and the motorcycle apparatus. And guy doesn't really look like me. He looks more like Don Johnson than he looks like me. But he looks like he could be me. He has the same kind of brown hair. I was wearing leather all the time, and we were more or less the same age. I think he's obviously older, all right, but nevertheless, he had the mop hair that I had. Yeah, and the same kind of brown and everything. And you could imagine me in that role after you've seen this guy. So that's on my resume and whatever. So I start working, at Video Archives, only to find out that these guys are like the biggest George Romero fans in the world. Not only is Roger like a George Romero fan, he bought stock in Laurel Entertainment when he was a boy with his birthday money. Bought $500 worth of Laurel Entertainment stock, and then when they did Tales from the Dark Side, the TV series, it became $1,000. Yeah, and that's just him wanting to support George Romero. Yeah, you know. So I was sort of like, okay, do I tell these guys about me being in Dawn of the Dead? Because I'm not in Dawn of the Dead. All right, but should I tell these? I go, well, they know I'm not in fucking Dawn of the Dead. All right. This was obviously before they knew me, but that's just impossible. And they're going to realize it doesn't look like me that much. All right. It suggests me, but it doesn't look like me. It's just crazy that I would be in their favorite movie. Well, I did it as an acting exercise. If I can sell them, if I can actually have them, I never thought I can get you guys to believe it. But if I got you to entertain the idea so that you couldn't just not believe it, the win is for you to consider it. Yeah. For you to consider it may have been true. And then I go, well, if I do that, then that's just the best acting exercise of all. Because one of these guys knows that these guys know this movie by heart. And obviously that's not fucking me. I mean, let's just get down to it. It's not me. And I got you guys for years, 3 years, for 3 years. It should have been me. It should have been. George Romero wishes it fucking was me. Yes, I'm older in that movie than I'm 5 years later. He's hanging around all these tough guys, so he looks bigger and older. That was the win. My life was fucking boring, all right? So I came up with all kinds of shit. No, I got to tell you, okay, 3 years later, I eventually told Jerry, and Jerry was like, I knew that wasn't you, but I'm kind of bummed now. I mean, I knew it wasn't you, but actually having you say it is like a real fucking bummer. So what happens was, once I did Reservoir Dogs, one of those acting resumes that I thought had long since went away, my manager still had one, so she sent it out. And so all of a sudden, people thought that I was in Godard's King Lear and Dawn of the Dead. And so in one of the movies on TV editions of Leonard Maltin's movies on TV, when it does the King Lear thing, and look for a quick cameo by a very young Quentin Tarantino. All right. So again, that's almost like I might as well have been in the fucking movie if Leonard Maltin is crediting it print. In movies on TV. Then George Romero hired me to be one of the radio voices in one of the found footage. I don't remember, Diary of the Dead. So he hired me to be one of the radio voices. So thus, I eventually was a cast member hired by Romero. All right, to do a thing, and so that reality was created. Oh no, I love Train to Busan. I actually showed it to a couple of friends in Tel Aviv who had never seen it before. And one of them was like, I don't know if I've ever seen a horror film this intense. I think it's both. The effect, it's a zombie movie. They're dead. They're not sick. They're dead.
Yeah.
Yeah, when they kill the deer at the beginning and he comes back to life. Okay, no, they're zombies. So I think so it's like it's but also it's not a disease. It's not a disease. It's like a nerve gas. So it's like a weapon. A weapon kills you. A weapon kills you and then reanimates you. No, just that image of the father carrying the little girl running with like seemingly 1,000 infected people chasing him, like right on his ass. With that music, boom, 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 boom. That's just complete adrenaline. Yeah, no.
I've never seen anything like it.
I thought when Train to Busan came, you're the one that turned me on to it. When Train to Busan came out, I was like, there's no way I can watch another zombie movie or infected people movie. I just can't do it anymore. And I was wrong. Oh, by the way, have you seen the terrible sequel to it? Yeah. The sequel to Train to Busan.
Peninsula?
It's terrible.
Oh, no, it's terrible. Terrible. No.
And it looks like it cost 5 times what Train to Busan cost. It's
such a perfect movie.
Terrible. And not only that, not only is it terrible, he's trying to make Mad Max Fury Road. But a bad Mad Max Fury. So it's Mad Max Train to Busan. So with the Romero movies, there's some mythology there to explore. Night of the Living Dead, it's everybody, it just happened. And so they're trapped in a house.
The first time I saw Night of the Living Dead was actually a pretty interesting screening because I knew it was showing up on television. And I was at an adult party. It was when I was 16, saying I was older, working in a community theater. And I'd always wanted to...
What did you do at the community theater?
Oh, I was acting in plays.
Okay.
But I was hanging around all these adults. I said I was 18 so I could do the plays there. And so they were having one of their parties that Saturday night, and at 1 o'clock they were showing Night of the Living Dead, and I'm going to finally see it. So I don't even know whose house this was. I went in the bedroom and turned on the TV, and I ended up watching it to the very end. And then when that was over, I went out and joined the party.
What did you think when you first saw Night of the Living Dead?
No, I thought it was fantastic, but I was blown away by the ending. When Dwayne Jones gets killed, I was blown away. Yeah, these Pittsburgh actors, you spend so much time with them that their amateurness is the amateurness of the best kind, because they're not, they're actors because they love acting. That's what made George Romero such a terrific filmmaker, was that he was a legit regional filmmaker. And what made it special was the slightly homemade quality to the movie. Our mutual friend Elvis Mitchell has been working on this thing of the top 10 seminal, basically black movies, for lack of a better term, starting in the late 60s and basically ending at the end of the 70s. His two bookends, number one is Night of the Living Dead, and on the other end of the spectrum, the last official one is The Wiz.
Come on!